There is a question that has followed humanity for thousands of years. How can we truly be healthy? Most people think of health as something physical, a strong body, freedom from disease, a good diet, or regular exercise. While these are important, according to Buddhist teachings, they are only the surface. True health goes much deeper. It is not just the absence of illness, but the presence of peace. It is not just a strong body, but a calm mind. It is not just living longer, but living with awareness. In Buddhism, health is seen as a harmony between body, mind, and spirit. When one is out of balance, the others are affected. When all are aligned, a person experiences a profound sense of well-being that no external condition can easily disturb. This journey toward true health begins with something very simple, yet often ignored. Understanding the nature of suffering, according to Buddhist philosophy, suffering dukkha is an inevitable part of life. But much of our suffering is not caused by the body, it is created by the mind. Stress, anxiety, anger, jealousy, and attachment slowly poison our inner world. Over time, they manifest physically. Chronic stress weakens the immune system. Anger increases blood pressure. Anxiety disrupts sleep. Attachment creates emotional instability. People try to treat the symptoms, medicine for the body, but ignore the root cause, the restless mind. Buddhism teaches that if we want true health, we must begin by healing the mind, because a disturbed mind will eventually disturb the body, but a peaceful mind can heal both. One of the most powerful tools in Buddhism for cultivating health is mindfulness. Mindfulness means being fully present in the moment, aware of your thoughts, your body, and your surroundings without judgment. It sounds simple, but in reality, most people are rarely present. They are either regretting the past, worrying about the future, or distracted by endless noise. This constant mental activity drains energy and creates inner tension. But when you practice mindfulness, something remarkable happens. Your mind begins to slow down. Your breathing becomes deeper. Your body relaxes naturally, and healing begins. Imagine eating a meal. While scrolling on your phone, you barely taste the food. Now, imagine eating slowly, feeling each bite, appreciating the nourishment, the same food, but a completely different experience. This is the difference between unconscious living and mindful living. And over time, mindfulness transforms not just how you feel, but how you live. 3. Right view. Changing the way you see life in Buddhist teachings. The path to well-being begins with right view. Seeing reality as it truly is, many people suffer not because of what happens to them, but because of how they interpret it. For example, losing money is seen as disaster, being criticized feels like an attack, aging becomes something to fear, but Buddhism teaches that everything is impermanent. Nothing lasts forever. Not success, not failure, not youth, not pain. When you deeply understand this, something shifts inside you. Begin to let go. You stop clinging so tightly to things, and this reduces a huge amount of mental suffering. A person who understands impermanence does not panic. Easily, they flow with life instead of resisting it, and this mental flexibility is one of the greatest forms of health. Attachment is one of the biggest sources of suffering we become attached to. People, wealth, status, expectations, even our own identity, and when things change, as they always do, we feel pain. But Buddhism does not say you should not love or care. Instead, it teaches no attachment, loving without clinging. This means appreciating what you have without fearing its loss, loving people without trying to control them, accepting change as part of life. When you reduce attachment, your mind becomes lighter. You experience less stress, less fear, and less emotional turmoil. And this directly improves your overall health because the body reflects. The mind, a peaceful mind creates a peaceful body. Health in Buddhism is not only about meditation, it is also about how you live every day. Your habits, your actions, your choices, all of these shape your well-being. A healthy lifestyle, according to Buddhist teachings, includes eating with awareness, not overeating, not eating out of stress or boredom, choosing food that nourishes the body, resting properly, understanding that rest is not laziness, it is essential for balance, moving the body, walking, stretching, being in nature, simple movements that keep energy flowing. Speaking kindly words affect not only others, but also your own mind. Thinking wisely, avoiding negative patterns like constant worry or self-criticism. When your daily life aligns with mindfulness and compassion, health becomes a natural result, not something you have to chase. Asterisk. One of the most beautiful aspects of Buddhist teachings is compassion. Compassion is not just about helping others. It is also about how you treat yourself. Many people are harsh on themselves. I'm not good enough. I failed again. I should be better. This inner dialogue creates emotional pain, but compassion softens it. When you treat yourself with kindness, your nervous system relaxes. You feel safer inside your own mind. And this is incredibly healing. Even modern science now confirms what Buddhism has taught for centuries. A compassionate mind supports physical health. It reduces stress hormones, improves immune function, and increases overall well-being. So if you want to be healthy, start with this simple practice. Speak to yourself like you would speak to someone you love. Asterisk, at the heart of Buddhist health is one thing: inner peace. Without inner peace, even the most successful life feels empty. With inner peace, even a simple life feels complete. Inner peace is not something you find outside. It is something you cultivate within, through meditation, mindfulness, letting go under is like a quiet lake. When the water is still, you can see clearly, but when it is disturbed, everything becomes distorted. Your mind is the same, and your health depends on its state. Asterisk. Health is not just about what you eat or how you exercise. It is about how you think, how you feel, and how you live, according to Buddhist teachings. True health comes from a calm mind, a compassionate heart, a balanced life, and a deep understanding of reality. This is not something you achieve overnight. It is a journey, a gentle, continuous practice, step by step, breath by breath. And the beautiful thing is, you can begin right now. If the first step toward true health is understanding the mind, then the next step is learning how to train it. Because an untrained mind is like a wild horse, restless, reactive, and easily disturbed. But a trained mind becomes a source of stability, clarity, and deep healing. And this is where one of the most powerful practices in Buddhism begins: meditation. Meditation, the medicine of the mundane modern life. People often search for external solutions to internal problems. They seek distractions to escape stress. They seek entertainment to forget pain. They seek temporary relief without addressing the root. But meditation offers something completely different. It does not help you escape your mind. It helps you understand it at first. Meditation may feel difficult. You sit down, and suddenly your thoughts become louder. Your mind jumps from one idea to another. Memories arise. Worries appear. This is normal, because for the first time, you are actually seeing your mind clearly. But if you stay with the practice, gently, patiently, something begins to change. Your thoughts slow down. Your awareness deepens, and a quiet space starts to open within you. In that space, healing happens. A simple practice. You don't need anything complicated to begin. Just sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Feel the air entering your body. Feel it leaving. When your mind wanders, and it will gently bring it back. No judgment. No frustration. Just return again and again. This simple act is incredibly powerful because each time you return, you strengthen your awareness, and over time this awareness becomes your anchor in life. Karma and health. The law of cause and effect. One of the fundamental teachings in Buddhism is karma, the law of cause and effect. Every action, every thought, every intention creates a result. This is not punishment. This is not reward. It is simply natural law, just as planting a seed leads to a specific plant. Your actions lead to specific outcomes, and this applies directly to health. Negative thoughts create tension, harmful actions create inner conflict. Kindness creates peace. Awareness creates balance if you constantly live in stress. Anger and negativity. Your body cannot remain healthy. But when you cultivate positive states of mind, your entire system begins to shift. This is why Buddhism emphasizes right intention, right action, right effort. Because health is not random, it is the result of how you live. Letting go of stress and emotional pain. Stress is one of the biggest causes of modern illness. But what is stress really? It is not just the situation you are in, it is your reaction to it. Two people can face the same problem, one feels overwhelmed, the other remains calm. Why? Because stress is created in the mind, and if it is created there, it can also be released there. The practice of letting go. Imagine holding a heavy stone in your hand at first. It is manageable, but if you keep holding it for hours, it becomes painful. The problem is not the stone. It is your refusal to let go. This is how emotional suffering works. We hold on to past mistakes, hurtful words, regret. We carry them everywhere. Buddhism teaches a simple but profound truth. You don't have to hold on to everything. You can choose to release, not by forcing yourself, but by understanding that holding on only creates suffering. Letting go is not weakness. It is wisdom. Healing through acceptance. One of the hardest things for people to do is accept reality. We resist pain, change, loss, imperfection. We wish things were different. But this resistance creates inner tension. That tension affects both the mind and the body. Acceptance in Buddhism does not mean giving up. It means seeing clearly. It means saying, this is what is happening right now, not from that place of clarity. You can respond wisely, but without acceptance. You are always fighting reality, and that fight exhausts you. The middle way, balance in everything. The Buddha, while it taught something called the middle way, it is the path between extremes, not too much indulgence, not too much restriction. In terms of health, this is incredibly important. Some people push their bodies too hard. Others neglect them completely. Some overeat. Others deprive themselves. But true health comes from balance. Eating enough, but not too much. Resting, but not becoming lazy. Working, but not burning out. Practicing discipline, but with kindness. The middle way is sustainable, and anything sustainable leads to long-term health. The power of breathing. Breathing is something we do every moment, but rarely do we pay attention to it. Yet, in Buddhism, the breath is a bridge between the body and the mind. When your mind is anxious, your breath becomes shallow. When your mind is calm, your breath becomes deep. So by changing your breath, you can influence your mind. Conscious breathing practice. Try this. Inhale slowly through your nose. Hold for a moment. Exhale gently through your mouth. Do this for a few minutes. You will notice your heart rate slows, your muscles relax, your mind becomes clearer. This is not just relaxation. This is healing, and it is available to you anytime, anywhere. Gratitude is one of the simplest and most powerful practices for health, yet is often overlooked. Most people focus on what they lack. They think, I need more money. I need more success. I need a better life, but this mindset creates dissatisfaction, and dissatisfaction creates stress. Gratitude does the opposite. It shifts your focus to what is already present. Your breath, your body, your loved ones. This moment when you feel grateful, your mind softens, your body relaxes, and a sense of contentment arises. This emotional state is deeply healing. The present moment is the only place where life truly exists. But most people are not here. They are lost in thoughts, thinking about the past, the future, what could go wrong, what should have been different. But life is happening now, and when you miss the present, you miss life itself. Returning to now at any moment, you can return by asking yourself, What am I feeling right now? What is happening in this moment? This brings you back, and when you are present, your mind becomes quieter, your experience becomes richer, and your health improves naturally. Healing is not something outside of you. It is not something you chase. It is something you allow by. Training your mind, letting go of what harms you, accepting what is living with balance and awareness you. Create the conditions for true health. This is the Buddhist way. Gentle, deep, and transformative. Purifying the mind. Transforming suffering into strength. There is a truth many people avoid. Cannot build a healthy life on an unhealthy mind, no matter how well you eat. No matter how much you exercise. If your mind is filled with negativity, fear, and attachment, your health will always be fragile. This is why in Buddhism, true healing begins with something deeper than habits. It begins with purification. Mental purification, clearing the inner world every day. Your mind absorbs countless impressions, words from others, images from media, thoughts that repeat again and again. Over time, these impressions accumulate, just like dust settling on a mirror. They cloud your clarity, and when the mind is unclear, it creates confusion, stress, and suffering. Mental purification is the process of cleaning that mirror, not by force, but by awareness. Observing without judgment. The first step is simply to observe. Notice your thoughts. Notice your emotions, without trying to change them immediately. Because often, the moment you judge your thoughts, you create more conflict. Instead, practice this. I see this thought. I feel this emotion, and allow it to pass. Like clouds moving. Across the sky, you are not the clouds. You are the sky, transforming. Negative emotions. Many people try to suppress negative emotions. They think, I shouldn't feel angry. I shouldn't feel sad. I need to be positive all the time. But suppression does not heal. It only hides the problem. In Buddhism, emotions are not enemies. They are signals. They show you what is happening inside. So instead of pushing them away, you learn to understand them. Turning anger into awareness. Anger often arises from unmet expectations. Things didn't go your way. Someone said something hurtful. But when you look deeper, you realize anger is not the problem. Your attachment to how things should be is. When you see this clearly, anger begins to soften. It transforms into understanding, and understanding brings peace. Transforming sadness into compassion. Sadness is often seen as weakness. But in truth, it can open the heart. When you allow yourself to feel sadness fully, you become more compassionate, not just toward others, but toward yourself. And this compassion is deeply healing. Energy of the mind. What you cultivate grows in Buddhism. There is a simple but powerful principle. What you focus on grows. If you constantly focus on negativity, your mind becomes heavy. If you focus on peace, gratitude, and awareness, your mind becomes light. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing where to place your attention. Daily mental training. Just like the body needs exercise, the mind needs training each day. You can consciously cultivate calmness, kindness, patience, gratitude. 8 of an 8 few minutes of intentional practice can change your entire emotional state. And over time, it reshapes your inner world. The illusion of control. One of the biggest sources of stress is the need to control everything we want. Life to go as planned, people to behave as we expect, outcomes to match our desires. Reality does not work that way. Life is unpredictable, change is constant, and trying to control everything creates tension. Letting life flow. Buddhism teaches a different approach. Instead of controlling life, learn to flow with it. This does not mean becoming passive. It means responding wisely. Without resistance, like water. Water does not fight obstacles. It moves around them. And over time, it shapes even the hardest stone. This flexibility is a form of strength, and it brings deep inner peace. Silence, the forgotten medicine in today's world. Silence is rare. There is always noise. Phones, conversations, media, endless information. But the mind needs silence to rest and heal. Without silence, it becomes overwhelmed. Returning to stillness, Evan. A few minutes of silence each day can make a difference. No phone. No distractions. Just sit. And be. At first it may feel uncomfortable, but gradually you will begin to appreciate it, because in silence you reconnect with yourself, and that connection is healing. Compassion for others, healing beyond the self. True health is not only personal, it extends to how you relate to others. When you hold anger, resentment, or hatred, it affects your own well-being. But when you cultivate compassion, something changes. Your heart opens, your mind softens, and your inner world becomes lighter. A simple practice: when you see someone struggling, instead of judging, think, just like me. This person wants to be happy. This simple shift creates connection, and connection is deeply healing. Turning suffering into strength. Life will always include difficulties, loss, failure, pain. These are unavoidable. But suffering is not just something to endure. It can be transformed. The alchemy of awareness. When you bring awareness to suffering, it changes. Instead of breaking you, it teaches you. Instead of weakening you, it strengthens you. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow in wisdom and compassion. And this transformation is one of the greatest sources of inner health. The practice of non-resistance is stance-resistance is subtle. It appears as this shouldn't be happening. I don't like this. I want this to stop. But resistance creates tension, and tension affects both mind and body. Allowing what is non-resistance does not mean you like everything. It means you stop fighting reality. You allow the moment to be as it is. From that place, you can act more clearly and with less suffering. Building inner stability. Healthy life requires stability, not external stability, but internal. Because the outside world will always change. But if your inner world is stable, you remain balanced. Rooting yourself within this stability comes from awareness, acceptance. Practice it. It's like a tree with deep roots. No matter how strong the wind, it does not fall. And this is the kind of strength Buddhism teaches. Closing reflection. Health is not something fragile. It is something you build from within. By purifying the mind, transforming emotions, letting go of control, embracing silence and compassion, create a foundation that cannot easily be shaken. This is true strength. This is true health, and it is available to you right now.